All praise and glory goes to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Sai, Bahashim Harakar Kadas. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well and taught me this truth, and peace and salutation to Yakim across the four corners of the globe. All right, we got a dollar store collapse, and my question is, what does it mean for the economy? If people that go to the dollar store can't afford those prices, then what does that say about the economy?
We have big problems at these dollar stores, everyone. Their stock prices are crashing. They're down 50%. And worst of all, the low-income customers that come to shop at these dollar stores, they're no longer coming. CEO of Dollar General, he just came out and said that a lot of their customers who make $35,000 or less, they can no longer afford to shop at these stores. People come to dollar stores because they can't afford to shop anywhere else, and yet they can no longer even afford to shop at a dollar store. And here's a fun fact for you, everyone. Dollar General is actually the largest retailer in America by store count. They operate over 20,000 stores, by far number one. Number two is Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. They operate 16,000 stores. So between the two big dollar stores, they do 36,000 locations across America, which is insane. A store like CVS is only 9,000 locations. Walmart is only 5,000 locations. So the footprint that these dollar stores have is immense. And you can see over here, they're advertising even lower prices. And that's actually the big myth, everyone, is the fact that dollar stores used to be a place where you could go and buy things for cheap in America. You could actually buy things for $1 or less at a dollar store. Now you walk into one of these stores and everything costs $10, $15, $20. The dollar stores are no longer an example of a discount place where you can actually shop for cheap. And one of these big issues for the dollar stores now is that places like Walmart are actually cheaper to go shopping. Walmart.
Right, man. So stuff ain't cheap anymore, man. All right, this shit is drying up. Second Ezra 16 and verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Now we can clearly see that those days are past. That things are being 99 cents, gas being $2, $3 a gallon. You know, those days are over with. Food, bread being $2, $3, those days are over with, man. Everything is inflated. Okay, so victuals shall be good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case, which they're not. Everybody right now is struggling. All right, from the middle class on down. So they ain't thinking themselves to be in a good case. A lot of people trying to figure out what they're gonna do to get out of that financial bond. All right, they're in the bond. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's what you have here, man. You have World War III in the midst. Over there with China, with Russia saying that they ready to shoot their ICBM missiles if anybody tries to shoot something long ballistic missiles at them. All right, talking about Ukraine. Okay, you got great confusion. People don't know if they're coming or going, man. All right, famine is kicking off on all over around the world, and in October the 1st in America, they're gonna have a seaport strike. So these ports are gonna be on strike. These union workers are gonna be on strike for more money, and to fight that AI don't come in and take their jobs.
Has cheaper groceries and food than the dollar stores, which is one of the reasons why fewer people are going. And the result is the stock price of Dollar General is down 45% this year, while the stock price of Dollar Tree is down over 50%. So in case you think I'm somehow exaggerating here, folks, I mean, just look at the stock prices of these companies. They're down at basically the levels they were at a decade ago. So something fundamentally has shifted here. And I think a big problem is with also the U.S. consumer. It's not just the fact that the dollar stores are expensive and have overexpanded. It's also the fact that the core customer that shops at these dollar stores can no longer afford to shop there. On one hand,
Thursday Night Football on Prime. It's on.
Ready to have some fun?
and because of inflation,
Right? You see, they can't afford to shop there no more. All right, they're not making enough money. They can't keep up with the inflation. All right, and you know Jake can't keep up with the inflation. Jake was already broke. All right, now they're just more broke. Haggai 1:6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but you are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earned wages to put it into a bag with holes. And that's what Jake does. Jake get paid, and then they pay all their bills, and they're broke. All right? So Jake really never get a chance to, splurge and live, because they're constantly fighting to survive and pay these bills, man. Right? And that's those curses.
because of the cost of goods going up. On the other hand, because people are running out of money. Dollar General CEO said very specifically that their main customer makes less than $35,000 a year, and that in their surveys to them, they're seeing that they feel worse about their economic situation compared to 6 months ago, that they feel like their prospects for the future are declining rather than improving. And the result is that they can't buy as much when they go into the store. And you have to wonder about what this means for the economy in general, everyone. And, this is something
So basically, the future is grim. The future look dark, and these people are seeing that it ain't looking good, man. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, the keepers of the house are talking about the people that deal with the finances, man. All right, the stockbrokers, Wall Street, people like that, investors, okay. And the strong men shall bow themselves, all right. And you see all of these rich people, man. They falling, they losing their riches, man. All right, they coming down low also. All right. You seen what just happened to Diddy? He went to jail. He a billionaire. Why his money couldn't buy him out of that? And if they win their case, all of his money and everything in his name could be seized because it's a part of the trial. All right, it was a part of a sex ring. Okay, sex trafficking. So they could take his money. See, you really never have nothing in Babylon. And the strong men bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And those that look out the window be darkened. The grinder represents these jobs. All right, a lot of these jobs are closing down right now and they're losing profit. So eventually they're going to close down, man. All right, whether they're open right now, they're losing profit, so they're not going to continue to be open. All right, so these jobs are closing down, and those that look out of the window be darkened. Yeah, your financial forecasters, they see a grim future for America because America is in a lot of debt, trillions.
actually been thinking about this dollar store collapse. What does it mean for the economy? And I think one thing it certainly cements is that the lower 1/3 on the income bracket is really tapping out and is really struggling. The economy as a whole hasn't collapsed overall yet, but for the lower 1/3 on the income bracket, maybe those making 50,000 or less, certainly 35,000 or less, the inflation of the last 3 years is really coming back to bite. And now that the job market is slowing, now that the layoffs are increasing, now that the wage growth is stagnating, there just isn't room for those on the lower 1/3 of the income spectrum to grow their spending. They're starting to default on their credit cards. They're starting to default on their mortgages. We're going to look at some houses here in a second. And I think that's a really unfortunate aspect to this economy. There's so many people get deluded into thinking that things are good because the stock market is up. But for a lot of people, everyone, it is a really rough go out there. You know, the personal savings rate in America just dropped to 2.9%. I've talked to you guys before about how this savings rate was in the mid 3% range. Now it's below 3%, 2.9% average savings rate, meaning that the average American only saves 2.9% of their income. This is the second lowest rate of all time. The only other times it's been this low was the 2007 bubble before the big housing crash, and then for a brief period in mid-2022 when inflation was 9%. The only two times in U.S. history where savings rates were this low. It's not a good sign when Americans can't save. Think about what that means when Americans can't save, when the savings rates are at the lowest level on record. It means that people are living beyond their means. It means that the costs of day-to-day living continue to go up while the wages and the incomes aren't keeping pace. And I want you guys to understand that there's nothing sustainable about the current situation in the economy. People cannot continue to overspend beyond what they're earning. The only way you fuel that is with debt, and now the debt levels are just getting too high to sustain, especially with interest rates at the highest level in 20 years. Now, in response, a lot of people say this, everyone. They say, oh, the Fed's about to cut interest rates. Things are going to get better once the Fed cuts interest rates. But this is a huge fallacy, because historically what tends to happen is that when the Fed cuts rates, it's more a signal that the labor market is about to get even worse. 11 of the last 14 times the Fed cut interest rate cycle, we had a recession in the next 6 months. The only 3 times we didn't have a recession in the next 6 months, the economic data was clearly saying the economy was getting better. In this case today, the economic data is saying that the economy is getting worse. I tell you, folks.
Yeah, the economy is getting worse, all right, because of inflation. Revelation 6:6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou heard not the all and the wine. The all and the wine represent this truth, represent the elect, all right? Heard not the elect, heard not the all and the wine, all right? All right, a measure of wheat for a penny. A penny was equivalent to, you can get 10 asses with a penny, man. It was a denarius. All right, you can get 10 asses. But it's saying a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny. Going into hyperinflation, man, because it's like this. If you got bread for $5, for $4, and then the next day it goes up to $10, and then the next day it goes up to $20, and the next day it goes up to $40. Hey, eventually you're not going to be able to buy that bread, man. All right? You're not going to be able to afford it. Let's just say you make $100 and bread goes up to $40. I mean, that's outrageous. All right? So inflation is kicking in and it's kicking people's butt. And they don't have self-control not to keep spending. They keep spending and they're overspending. All right. A lot of people are showing off, but Jake ain't got no money. Jake just stunting for the gram.
Cicadas? I don't know if you can hear them through my microphone, but they're these crazy bugs, which actually this summer